So, good evening, and welcome along to another big music show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, we'll be joined by one of Northern Ireland's top guitar players. John Tracey is going to be live in the studio. We'll have some music from singer-songwriter John Andrews, and starting things off, please welcome Orlaith Mollie. So there we go with a song called Heart. That's Orlaith Mollie, who joined me now in the studio. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you two?
We're good, yeah.
Great stuff. Tell us about the song Heart then. Tell us the story behind that.
Well, Heart, we wrote that last summer. It was one of the first songs we wrote, and we really wanted to try something different and write a bit of a disco tune. So it was our first song we put on the album. I think it's the opening one, and we really liked doing it because it's something different to our rock songs that we cover as well. So it's one of our favourites, I have to say.
That's what I was going to say, because you do a lot of rock stuff, don't you? So how did the two of you get into rock? Because you do everything from Black Sabbath to AC/DC and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, well, rock's just proper hardcore. Like, my dad was always playing rock tunes around the house when I was growing up, and so were Orlaith's parents, and it's just way more fun to play rock, especially with our setup, because we have electric guitar and bass. Okay.
So Mollie, tell us, how did the two of you get together?
School. Yeah. Yeah, that's how we met, and that's how we got together.
So how long have you been performing now then?
I think it's 1.5 years we've been together. We've always been playing individually our whole lives. We were both brought up with music, but together we combined forces 1.5 years ago and started busking. And ever since it's been going pretty well.
So we see you all the time on the streets of Belfast, and the punters out there seem to like it.
Yeah, they enjoy it. We always get a good crowd coming to watch us, which is fun because there's nothing nicer than playing to a crowd that really enjoys the music you play as well. So we have a good time in Belfast busking.
So Mollie, tell us about the EP. It's been out for a few months now, hasn't it?
It's been out nearly 1 year. Yeah, it's called Chains. And there's 4 tracks on it: Heart, Take My Shot, Twisted and Wilderness. And we wrote it in about a week last summer because I wanted to put something together so we'd have originals.
Okay. So are you thinking about the next EP now? Or the next album?
It's a work in progress. We always just want to keep on writing to see what comes out, because last summer it was our first time writing together last summer.
Yeah.
So we really just combined forces and all came out in a week, but now we kind of want to focus more and write as much as we can leading up to the next release.
And Mollie, I saw a photograph on your social media the other day of the two of you walking across the famous Abbey Road in London.
Oh, that was so amazing. Yeah, we walked across it just like the Beatles. And we actually went to Abbey Road Studios and seen Nile Rodgers through the window, and we were screaming and singing all of his hits. We were singing We Are Family, the David Bowie one, Let's Dance, and so many other ones.
And did he hear you?
I think he did, but he was kind of sipping on his coffee, like looking out, and then he'd kind of go, we'd be like, I don't think he wanted to hear us.
What about long-term goals? Where would you love to see yourselves maybe in the next 4 or 5 years?
Well, really, I just want to keep on doing what we're doing, but just keep on stepping it up. Like at the minute, I'm very happy writing and playing gigs, and you know, it's good fun as well. But really, I would just love to play music my whole life. I think Mollie's the same. Just keep on going with it and always look for something new. Keep on getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will you do one more for us?
Yeah.
Of course.
But what are you going to do this time?
Wilderness.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind Wilderness?
It's like set in a forest. That was the kind of vibe we were going for when we wrote it. It kind of has a bit of a similarity to Immigrant Song in the sense with all the nature sort of lyrics. So we like performing it. It's very crazy.
Okay, here with Wilderness, here is Orlaith and Mollie.
Come on, go crazy. Left my soul in the wilderness. It all started with a kiss. Ooh, take it from me in the night. Voices screaming, the fire's bright. Fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, I've got fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, they'll come running to the sound of the woman screaming, you better run, you better hide. Can't go back when you're outside. Ooh, they hunt you down, alive or dead. Anything to keep them fed. Fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, I've got fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, they'll come running to the sound of the woman screaming, I've got fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, I've got fire in my bones, and that's just how it goes in the wilderness. Ooh, they'll come running to the sound of the woman screaming,
Days of wonder lost their shine. Take away before it's time. Don't believe it, leaving you, you and I, the world that I love. I don't almost feel it when you find me. trust no one around me. Yeah, I know sometimes I'm trouble, but I hate to see you struggle. Never give up even once on me. Wanna save you from all you know, to keep believing darkness grows. You and I, the world that I love. I'd almost feel it when you find me. I couldn't trust no one around me. Yeah, I know sometimes I'm trouble, but I hate to see you struggle. You never give up even once on me.
So that's a song called Keep Believing from John Andrews, who joins me now in the studio. John, how are you, sir?
How you doing? Very well.
And of course you've got the new EP coming out as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
The new EP is called Johnny Was. Johnny Was is a shout out to Stiff Little Fingers and Bob Marley. It's also about growing up, and it's also about not being who you used to be. 5 tracks. Yeah. About 3 of the 5 tracks were written in prison, and the other 2 upon release. So these are old songs to me now. I have a bit of albums worth to go here, about 10 songs. So these are kind of like old songs to me, but I wanted to give the thing a proper release. So it's been getting good airplay globally and some bigger stations and a lot of smaller stations.
Okay.
So yeah.
We'll talk about your prison experience in a second, but this is the second EP you've had out. The first one you brought out, I suppose kind of would bring back a lot of maybe unhappy memories, wouldn't it?
Yes and no, because some of the songs I find are a nice way. Some of them can be almost like a nice memory, can be comforting. Of course, the darker ones, it can be hard to go back there and play them. You don't always feel in the headspace that you can go back and play them, but then sometimes you can, you know. Yeah, it was a learning curve, you know. It was really trying to just work on improving my voice and what I wanted to sound like and what I wanted to put out and say, most importantly.
At the time of the first EP, you just lost your brother, hadn't you?
I'd lost Mark, yeah, and some months went by, and I think it was about 9-10 months I started writing, and I thought I'll start from the beginning and I'll write the best thing I can write, most true to what I want to say, and did that. The songs were very basic then as the outcome. It was mostly acoustic, and you know, there wasn't too much going on, so to listen to it now it sounds very bare.
Yeah.
This one, however, we've got 4 tracks that's a full band and the last track is acoustic, because I didn't want to change that. I'm very much like an acoustic performer at the minute, although I'm starting to form bands and stuff as at the minute too.
So tell us a bit about you then. How long have you been doing the whole singer-songwriter thing for?
I've been properly on this circuit, or this kind of local thing, for since the beginning of 2016.
Okay.
And I've been putting on regular shows ever since, in the likes of, it would have been the Empire, or Voodoo, or the Sunflower Fest, Fela Fest, Eastside Arts Fest. And mainly looking for shows that I can push my own stuff, because primarily it's all my own original. I want to do a new thing, you know. I love doing covers, but as an extra, you know.
Yes. And did you come from a musical family?
Yeah, my mum plays the organ in one of Ian Paisley's churches. It still does.
Right.
In East Belfast. So that was an interesting upbringing, and actually the first track on the EP deals with that. It's called Pray.
Right.
And it's very heavily influenced by characters within there. And
you mentioned that you spent some time in prison, and you wrote a lot of songs in there.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was interesting. Some nice people in there. People in for stupid reasons. People in for horrible reasons. But good people in there nonetheless. You know, I made some good friends, and I met a lot of people who I thought were good friends until I got out. And yeah, I mean, there's a song there. I'm not going into too much detail, but you know, some of the darker reasons people are in prison. There's a song about that. It's called Rootsville. It's actually on Spotify now. Well, I recorded it here in Belfast. It's not on the EP, but it's very dark and bluesy, and it's about somebody trying to convince you that they're innocent while they're inside. And a lot of people were sat on the fence, couldn't actually make up their mind whether he was telling the truth or not, you know, so that's very much what that's about.
Okay. If people want to find out more information about you and listen to some of your material, how do they do that?
They go to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and it's all the same name, Johnny Was, N-I, one word.
What about hopes for the future? Are you an ambitious person?
I'm very ambitious now, yeah. I started doing this in 2014, and I said to myself I would work at it every day to improve what I could and learn as much as I could while doing it, and to really think about what I wanted to say to put music out. You gotta have something to say. The way I look at it is I want to do it my whole life. I work full time in a factory, like, and I want to do my own music for a living. I want to sell tickets, and I want to, make my living from it. That's it, you know.
Well, do you know what? From what I've heard today, I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure it happens. Like, one way or another.
I really do. Will you do one more for us before you go?
Absolutely, yeah.
What are you going to do this time?
Heavy Rain.
What's the story behind this one?
This is a story about addiction, and fighting really hard to overcome it, but that not being apparent maybe to your partner.
All right.
Or maybe they don't see that, you know.
John, thank you so much for
joining us. Thank you very
us, and the very best of luck with the
new
EP.
Appreciate it.
Okay, here we go with Heavy Rain. Here is John Andrews.
At the end day on a Friday, it's my day. Let me sing and spill my guts. Heart and soul just wanna strut my way. Good golly, time just ticking by you. Sick and tired, I rely on. But I've been freedom fighting, really trying. It's true. I just want to feel something more. Sirens came, heavy rain has something more. Mr. Magic, the great unknown, the fairy tales and what could have been. I look back and gobsmacked, what a scene. This really happened to me. I just want to feel something more. Sirens came, heavy rain, something more. Tired from the tears, tired of aching, heart is breaking, rather rage, wreck myself mentally, something's gotta give, breaking point eventually, but nights full of pain, never wanted sympathy, the sky ain't the same, heart full of empathy when dark times came, single like community with just old friends, strangers in the century, but come on then. Oh, come on then.
So that's called Dangerous to Go Alone. That's the title track from John Tracey's latest album, and the man himself joins me in the studio. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
So congratulations on the album.
Thank
It's
you.
the first album you've had out.
That's my first album, yeah, and it's all acoustic, it's all instrumental music, and it's all original.
Wow, okay.
It's something different.
And it really is, because you don't really see a lot of
No.
instrumental artists emerging from Northern Ireland, do you?
No, not really. I mean, instrumental music was massive in the 60s and 70s, and then it kind of took a dip. So whenever I find that whenever people see you with a guitar, they expect you to sing.
Yeah.
It's as if, you know, the guitar is only an accompaniment
Yeah.
to a singer, but that's not always the case, and I'm trying to push the instrumental side of things. That you can entertain a crowd purely just with one instrument.
So usually when I have a singer-songwriter and I ask them to tell me the story behind the song,
Yeah.
does it kind of work the same when you're writing an instrumental piece?
Very much so, yeah, very much so. So the whole thing for me, anyway, the whole idea for me is that I try to tell stories without words.
Okay.
That sounds very poetic, but that is genuinely it. You know, I want to make sure to get the same emotion across to an audience that they would get with a singer who's singing words, but purely through music. And it seems to be working.
Okay, so why was the album called Dangerous to Go Alone?
It originally started because it's actually a line from a 1980s video game.
Okay.
So I know I'm a wee bit of a geek inside, so it was a game called The Legend of Zelda, and it's one of the first lines that appears in it. But also, it was quite symbolic for me because it means it was a symbolism of me moving away and trying to break away from, you know, doing pubs and doing cover gigs to doing my own stuff. And there's an element of danger involved in that, so it is kind of dangerous to go alone.
Okay, what about the rest of the songs in the album? Is there kind of interesting stories behind these?
Yes. Every single one of them they all have stories, and I've made sure on the inside cover of the CD that there's a couple of lines explaining each of them.
This one jumps out, track number 7, Bittersweet Strawberries and Cream.
Yeah, Bittersweet Strawberries and Cream. Yeah, that's a bit of a cryptic one. I wrote that. It's actually one of the first pieces that I ever wrote, and it was at a time whenever I was a wee bit uncertain about a couple of things in life, and the song just fell out. It fell out of my hands, and it's a ballad. It's a kind of a not a love song, but a bittersweet song. So I thought that's it. And it happened around about the time that I first graduated from university. So that's the Strawberries and Cream kind of thing.
All right, okay. So what age were you then when you first picked up the guitar?
The guitar, I think it was 13 or 14.
And out of all the instruments in the world, why the guitar?
Well, I started off in piano.
Okay.
I've been playing the piano from a very young age. Self-taught, pretty much. My grandmother, Teresa, who actually is
Teresa's Hands,
yeah,
track 3.
that's about her. She taught me the first couple of notes, and then I just sort of took off and did my own thing. But the guitar, there was a neighbour 2 doors down from us, we're in the street that I kind of grew up in, and I'd never played a guitar before, but I saw him playing. I thought, that's really cool. I want to learn that. And he said, well, here, take that. I have loads of guitars in the house. Take that and bring it 2 doors down. You can practice on that one. And I did, and I was hooked.
Right, okay, wow.
Yeah.
How many guitars do you own now?
Oh, don't ask. Don't. Too many. Although they do say you can never have too many. But
Because I remember asking Gary Moore the same question.
Oh,
And
hey.
he couldn't answer either. It was, yeah.
No. No, it's, I would probably be embarrassed to say.
Yeah.
But they're not all expensive guitars.
All right, okay.
You know.
So would somebody like Gary Moore have been a big influence to you?
Gary Moore, not so much. He was more of the kind of electric rock side of things, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not that much of an influence in my playing. I have a lot of respect for those kind of players. But for me, I think the biggest influence was an Australian guy called Tommy Emmanuel. Don't know whether you've ever heard of him.
Yes.
Yeah. He is kind of at this stage anyway, he's the kind of pioneer, in my opinion, of this kind of style of playing, and he's influenced thousands of people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
He just has the most amazing style, and again, he does it all on one instrument. And half the time, you know, you'd be sitting listening or watching thinking, there sounds like there's about 3 or 4 guitars here. But makes it entertaining.
Yes.
So he was a massive influence on me, definitely.
All right, okay. So now that the album's out and you're gigging all around the place as well, are you one of the guys now that people go to if they want this special style of guitar playing on their albums and stuff?
That would be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah, a few people have approached me, and I would love for that to continue because I really enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay, what about gigs coming up? Is there anything we should know about?
Yes, we'll have the Orlaith Guitar Festival, which is in the Highlands of Scotland. That's going to be, I'm playing on the 6th of October, which is my birthday. So what a nice sweet treat. So I'll be playing up in the Highlands on my birthday.
Okay, you're going to do one more from the album. What are you going to do this time?
I think I'll go for Just Waves.
And what's the story behind this one?
I don't know, it's kind of people tell me whenever they listen to it, it sounds like a boat going across waves, or, you know, it kind of has that, I don't know, like epic sort of film soundtrack feel. That's what I'm kind of going for anyway. So and I couldn't think of a better title. So a friend of mine just said, "Why don't you just call it Waves?" And I thought, just Waves, that'll do.
And if people want to find out more information about you and how to get their hands on the album, how do they do that?
You can get me on pretty much every method of social media going, and you can get me on my website, which is johntraceymusic.com, and Tracey spelled with an E as in Tracey.
Brilliant. So John, thank you for joining us
Thanks
on
a million.
the show today. So here we go, one more time. Here's John Tracey and a track called Just Waves.